you, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. We'll start our pre-conference now. I'm Richard. Do you go by Elliot or Mr. Childress?
Either one's fine. Whichever one you want to call me is good.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll be observing your video. So the first question I like to ask you, is what will be the focus of your lesson?
The focus of my lesson is alternative exercises for the back. It'll be using resistance bands and medicine balls and body weight stuff. The lesson before was back exercises with weights. So now we're moving to alternative exercises. So that'll be
Okay.
what the focus of the lesson's on.
That sounds very interesting, man. You gotta work on them latissimus dorsi and
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
everything in the back, traps, everything. Okay. What grade level are you working on?
This was actually my practicum at college, so you'll actually see me working with college age kids on in the video.
Okay, okay, that's fine as well. What would you like me to look for in the video?
I guess really just my instruction. If I'm clear in my instruction, if I give good examples, and making sure that students are engaged in not only taking in the information that I give them, but engaged in the tasks at hand. So I guess one, me getting the information across, and two, making sure that the students take that information and then apply it and stay active for the lesson.
Okay, I can definitely try to do that, and I'll try to give you as much feedback as I can. They are college students, but how were they, and how diverse was the group of kids or group of students?
There were about, I'd say, 20. There were probably close to 20, 24 kids in the class. I'd say out of that number, probably 18, probably between 16 to 18 were guys, and
Okay.
we were girls. So it was a predominantly male class,
Okay.
and had a few girls.
Okay, I can understand that. Seeing it as a college course. Okay. What content will student know and understand? You kind of went over that, but what
Right.
do you want them to actually know and understand?
Want them to know how they can use other methods to work out their back. Not everybody has access to a weight room, so the reason we do the alternative lesson is so that they can take stuff that is more easily accessible, and be able to get a back workout and still use the stuff that we went over the day before, and apply it to their alternative workout. So hopefully by the end of the lesson, they can go show somebody else, how to do an alternative back exercise. So that's really what it's about. Is we know that they've learned it by us teaching to them, and then their ability to show other people what they've learned.
Definitely, because even though they're not just kids, you still want to promote lifelong fitness, and
Right.
over time, backs start to go out, man. So definitely using the bands definitely can help, man. I mean, I know with our athletes, we use the band for everything, so it's definitely a good idea. What skills will they be able to demonstrate? You kind of just answered that, but can you just elaborate just a little bit more?
Yeah. Actually, let me pull up the. Give me a minute. I'll pull up the task bar, and I can tell you exactly what all they're be doing, because I don't want to. I want to pull this up. I want to know for sure what they're going to be doing here. right, so you'll see at the start of the video, they have coaches. Each team has a coach, and we tell the coaches what they're going to be doing that day. So each person on the team has a role. The coach never changes, though. The coach is always the same. So we're going to show them resisted pullovers, resisted pull down. They'll do a bent over row with the resistance band. They'll do a seated row. They'll do a medicine ball hyperextension, and that also the medicine ball, they'll use that in their resisted pullover, and they'll actually be on a medicine ball for that. And then we always do a body weight exercise, so they'll do like a Superman back extension, and then we always put an abdominal routine in there as well. So I think the one that you'll see with this one is a reverse crunch. So that'll be what you should see the students doing for their workout in the video, and that's what they should be able to know and do at the end of the lesson. Because I think at the end of the lesson, actually demonstrate. I think I have some students that help demonstrate too. So that's how I check for understanding.
Okay, that sounds great, man. My next question was, how would a lesson engage the students on all levels? Like, say, I know you may not have had a student with any kind of adaptive problem, but how would the lesson engage all of the students? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but yes, sir.
Yeah, in that class, we didn't have any students with adaptive needs. As far as equipment, there were resistance bands that were pretty much lightweight, midweight, and heavyweight, so they could pretty much, adjust, and they could get a band, and if it was too much, they could go down, or if one wasn't enough, they could move up. Different weighted medicine balls. And with the coaches, we did a questionnaire at the beginning of the semester. It was kind of like a leadership questionnaire. So, would you like to be a coach? How much do you know about weight training? Safety guidelines, all that stuff. So the coaches that we picked, we felt that they would do a good job of helping their teammates, get through the workout safely and effectively. And it was a team talk class, but you'll see I took the lead in this lesson. So you'll see me working my way around and trying to help out, seeing what they're doing and giving them pointers and giving them positive feedback if I see they're doing something right. So it was kind of it wasn't really self-paced because we had to get it in like an hour 15 minutes, but they could use any equipment that they felt suited their needs.
Okay, you kind of answered it already. But what resources, material will be used in instruction? You definitely said that you would be using bands, and you kind of explain what exercises.
Yeah, there'll be so body weight, which is no equipment at all, so they're using their own body weight. Resisted pullovers would be a medicine ball and a stability ball. They'll do a partner resisted pull down, where they can use either the resistance band and I think we have some just straight. Some like foam bars that they use that are dense on the inside, and I think that's it. And then the abdominal exercise, that one doesn't really apply. So those would be the materials that we use. And for the and when they come in and do the warm up, there's some jump ropes I think that each team can use if they want to incorporate that into their warm up when they come in.
Okay. How would you check for understanding during the lesson?
Asking questions, student examples, and that's usually my go-tos when I'm checking and making sure they know what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will say there's an application contest at the end. So they apply what they learned the day before. With an exercise, and another team actually judges them on their form, and then after they get done, making sure they clean their area and that kind of stuff. So there is an application contest where we actually do give them a chance to. Each person has to do at least one. So they'd send someone up to do like a bent over row with a straight bar. They'd send somebody up to do like a medicine ball hyperextension. They'd send somebody up to do a bent over row with the resistance band. So that's another way that we check, and then the other groups get to see how the other groups perform those skills. So it's kind of a it's kind of a neat way for them to instead of them grading each other, actually watching other groups, and we give points based on how well they do and the grades that they get. So
Okay.
Another accountability system that they kind of have some ownership in.
It seems like you always answered the question before I ask it. My next question definitely was. Well, my last question was, how would you assess? How would you use assessment in your assignment? So you kind of just explained that.
The application contest, and then towards the end of the semester, they got to make up their own fitness program, and they turned that into us, and we looked at it, and we told them if it was good or if there were things that needed to change. So they took everything that we learned and then applied it to their own program. So that was another way that we checked to make sure that they knew what they were doing.
Okay, that's great. I would definitely get back with you like immediately to do your post conference to get it done with. So thank you for calling me, and I hope you guys did good in your baseball game. It really doesn't matter if you guys won, but as long as you're getting better. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks.
All right, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm fine. We'll start our pre-conference now. I'm Richard. Do you go by Elliot or Mr. Children? Elliot, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How did the game go?
It was good. We actually won on a walk-off, bottom of the seventh. So we were down 6-2, then scored 5 runs over the last 2 innings and won. So
exciting. Great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Right, that's definitely something to come home with.
Awesome.
Yeah, but we're going to start our post-conference now. I have a few questions for you. I would like to first say that I liked the lesson. I think that it had a lot of good things. I think you actually taught the students a lot about the back and different muscles. So I think they definitely would took that and ran with it, hopefully. A few of the questions I have, though. You asked me to make sure to check for the instructions clear and make sure that the students were engaged and actually being able to use, make sure students take information and apply it and stay active for the lesson. How would you say you did with those two?
I think I did well at that point in the year. We were at that point we were 7 lessons in. We had a really good management day, like on day 2 or 3. So they learned pretty quickly how to be self-sufficient. So it really wasn't something. I mean, every now and then we'd have to tell somebody, to stay on task or something. But overall, we had a really good group, and we tried not to. I tried not to spend so much time. I want to make my introductions and my examples as quick as I could, give them time to get out and be self-sufficient. So I thought overall the lesson went well because the day before we had done back exercises using weights, so dumbbells and cables and all that stuff. So this was an alternative day. So they're already pretty familiar with form and whatnot, but just using alternative equipment was kind of what we were going after. So I thought it went well.
Okay. I did think you actually did a really good job of getting the information across, and I think that the students took the information in well. What would you say, in your opinion, went well in the lesson?
Um, I think them staying on task, engaged in what our examples were.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was probably the biggest strength of the lesson. Like I said, it was we had 5 lessons, 4 or 5 lessons up to that point, where we alternate with weight exercise, and then we come back and do an alternative exercise. So they kind of already knew the routine, and then it just pretty much became a game for me to try to make my introductions more clearer and shorter.
Okay.
Especially on the alternative days, because they knew what muscles we were working. They knew about proper form. So it was just a matter of me trying to get that information across as fluently as possible.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a two question. I think they kind of go together.
Okay.
What would you say didn't go well, and how would you improve on that lesson?
Probably what I think if I could have, I would have spent less time on the introduction. I probably would have done maybe like an anticipatory set. I don't. I'm at fault of not doing an anticipatory set for every lesson. I want to get them excited. We kind of just jumped in. Okay, here's what we're going to do today. I'll let the coaches know. Okay, here's the coaching plan. But when I bring everybody together, I think it would be. I think it'd be more beneficial for me to get excited about it. I'm pretty even keel when I teach. So the anticipatory set is something that I miss a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But other than that, other than anticipatory set, I think just not being so long-winded in my introduction, which there was a lot of stuff to cover, but I think if I could give myself or something as I'm going through, instead of trying to, I work on it before class, but when you get into it, you try to explain things. And if I had something to look at while I was explaining it, I could be a lot more efficient with my time. So that would probably be one thing that I would change.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of the old school teachers keep that clipboard, and that clipboard is actually there for a reason. The little note cards, and just like with sports, you see the football coaches, they'll have their little paper with their little plays and stuff, just to remind them of things. And we definitely can bring that into PE.
So I definitely think I could do a better job of that.
Yeah, I think that would be nice as well. I know something that I do is I just try to have something there to get them enthused, because I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", 300 pounds, and sometimes I might not look like I'm enthused. So like just having some type of video or something like you said, and just for a set to get them active would be really good.
Right.
My thing, some of the information I got was from using the sheet was that I'll give you some percentages. So thirds. So all right. So you know that the sheet that I decided to use basically talked about management, instruction, waiting, and those type of things. So I'm pretty sure you've seen the set. So I'm gonna give you some of the percentages. Um, so some of the percentages that I had, I would say is that it was actually around 70% time that you were actually giving instruction and they were active, which I think is
Okay.
really good. I think
Right.
that's very good.
Okay.
You actually had a little bit more time with the students being given instruction, but it still wasn't like a lot to a little.
Okay.
I will say that sometimes when you want stuff to be perfect, you definitely give them every detail. You know what I'm saying? So I do that as well, and I think you did a really good job at that, trying to keep them there. I do. I will say that sometimes you want to make sure that you're giving them a lot of time to be active, and I think you did a really good job at that.
Thank you.
So I had it was 45% time that so I had 45, 21% that they were waiting around. That's really good. That's something that we definitely want to keep that low. So that was great.
Right.
And I really think that if you can just keep doing that and just get better and just keep improvement, that would be something that would definitely help in that class. What else would you say you maybe could do a little bit better just for the just to think about?
Uh, I think in the lesson, I think the lesson you observed, I think I did an okay job with the closure. A lot of times
Okay.
I run myself up, to the end of class and don't
Hmm.
do like a proper closure.
Yeah.
And part of that is because I want them to stay engaged in the activity.
Hmm.
Because you bring them back from the closure, they're sitting back down. You're just going back over, you're reviewing everything that they just did. I mean,
Hmm.
I do have students help me give examples
Hmm.
and that kind of thing, but I do shorten myself on the closure every now and then. So
Hmm.
I think if I could become more, uh, if I could become more apt to do the closure every time and not
Hmm.
just, and I mean, there were some days where I just, said, okay, guys, good work today. Tomorrow we'll be doing this, and I didn't really hit the meat of the content that we went over. So
Hmm.
I kind of shortchanged them some, but that's something else that I can get better at. I think.
Okay. Definitely. Long as you're keeping them active and try to just, I mean, make sure the instruction is a little bit lower. I think everything will be perfect. And I actually did like your closure, because you definitely made this. I was looking at my notes. I definitely notated that you actually made the students or asked students to demonstrate what they learned. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that might be the time that one student said, "Oh, that's what he meant." Because you said, I
Right.
think the words you used were do that exercise until it's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think that was definitely a point that I really liked.
Okay.
But did you have any other questions for me?
Uh, no, that's it. It's good to hear that that my instruction time and my activity time were good, and there wasn't a lot of waiting time. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm always worried about: handling transitions and making sure that I
Yeah.
use the most of my time.
And I could tell that the video was kind of cut, so your
It
active
was.
time might have definitely been even more. But I know it was the active time and the instruction time was kind of close. But I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, I could tell that they were actually doing these activities, doing that, and I did see that you got them through the warm up really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just to make sure they were warm, and you even said, okay, you're not that warm, so we're not going to do something too intense or too vigorous. So that definitely was the great point that I noticed in my notes. So
Okay.
um, if you don't have any more questions for me, sir, I would definitely keep up with you and send you emails as I
Okay.
look at the video one more time.
Okay. All right. That sounds awesome. Thanks for your
All right,
time and for your feedback.
all right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.